Hey everyone, let's wait about one more minute. We'll wait for Kieran to come and we'll go ahead and get the Twitter space started. Welcome.
Okay, I can't currently hear anyone.
Hi, can you hear
Yep,
me?
I'm running a little late. I left for a sandwich, and it's been about half an hour, so I'm just on the
No worries.
road. So if you guys hear stuff in the background, that's just me walking.
All right, as long as you're not driving, that's good. All right, welcome everyone. So, another Twitter space for developers to share their latest updates. Kieran, Brandon, if any of you want to go ahead and start with the updates.
Sure. Can Brandon talk about the voice plugin we've chosen? Brandon, do you mind talking about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I have no problem talking about that. Hi everybody, I'm Brandon. You guys know me. So we have chosen to use a proprietary system for the voice chat called Vivox, and it's very powerful. We were able to get a voice chat channel all set up and working, and we're just currently just configuring it to work more in the method that we want it to in the game. So it can handle up to about 5,000 concurrent users, sending data through back and forth. That could be also text as well as voice, but um, it's a it's a really impressive system, and we just got it all set up this week.
What did you have to do to get it set up this week?
So we needed to get like a an API call set up through their SDK, but going through the system, we just had to make a custom game instance and have everything um, kind of stored in there. So that way, whenever the players join in, they will automatically be able to connect into the voice chat channel. It is it's it's just a pretty simple C++ script that runs in there. And it just kind of calls on initialization.
It's so awesome. It's exciting. And we'll have the ability to do server wide voice as well as just
Yes.
localized voice. So you'll be able to see a little. Uh, uh, oh, sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, you should be able to you can talk to people within proximity of each other, so you won't be able to hear the same like a person across the map unless you set that up to speak with that person, or if that is going to be a feature. But you can only really hear the people near you, which is it's nice, especially for such a big world that we're going to be populating. Not you won't be able to. Not too many people won't be talking over each
Yeah,
other.
and eventually we're going to have private chat and all that stuff that you have. But we really, as we started playing around with the jetpacks, we our main next goal is to get the particle wave analyzer in. But the thing with that was, one, we needed more sound effects. So this week, Dave, and I'm just walking right back to my computer right now, and I'll play you guys some sound effects. But Dave got it all set up, so we got a lot of sounds coming in. But one thing that we were missing, we kept starting Google chats or Discord chats because we wanted to yell at each other while we're playing. So Brandon's been hard at work at this for this last week, and we might have a little bit longer, but our goal is next week we'll show you guys a build with us playing with the new sound effects and the new voice. And the following week you'll see all the updates we've done to the universal body type, which is so exciting. We just really want to get that done right.
We can officially have our meetings in our own metaverse.
That's it. On Twitch too. Maybe not our private meetings,
Yep.
but yeah, on Twitch, and we'll be able to do that. It's going to be really exciting. Danielle, if you
When are you guys? Yeah.
what sorry?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, when are you guys like testing the voiceover, like that we're gonna be able to like see how it works or see you guys playing with voiceover?
Well, so
I don't mean voiceover,
voice chat.
voice.
Well, he just got
Chat.
it done. We're working on it this week, so you can talk to us next week about that. We're just doing the initial, like literally the programming Brandon's been working on this week, and he's still got a little bit to go. So we got it initiated so it's server wide, but now we have to do it so that it actually works with the distance of the player, which is also something Brandon
Yeah.
worked out, and he got the 3D sounds working. So now we don't hear footsteps all the way across the map.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Nice.
for it to do the proximity or like hearing people nearby. It's it has to know where each player is at every given moment and be able to understand where everybody is and do that in a manner that it's not like using up a crazy amount of resources. Is it is fun. It is fun to figure out and it is doable. So we're getting there.
You'd be surprised how fast your computer slows down when you're just running a video chat and the game. So
Yes.
this is something that is not just a regular task, but we're striving hard to get that done. And now I'm going to pull up my list of things that we can talk about that we've updated too. All right. Does anyone else send chats to themselves? I constantly send chats to myself to make sure that
I do that all the time on Slack, or if I need to send something over from my phone to my computer, it's
Yeah.
easier just to send it to myself on Signal. It's just so nice.
So I actually don't have speakers on my computer right now, but I will share some sounds. Maybe the next trailer we have, we'll share some sounds. But we got a bunch of sounds down this week. Some laser guns, some jetpacks. It's really cool. It was really nice to see Dave send us a whole mix of them. We, Brandon, you'll be excited. We have the critter attack, the critter die, the critter spawn, and the critter walk sounds too. So I think
This
I
would
got
be
the
fun to
critter
implement.
animation in, so you'll be implementing all that stuff next week. It'll be fun.
I love anything with audio. It really makes anything like there's and this is kind of a tiny bit of a tangent, but it has to do with audio. It's like a lot of the scariest movies you'll ever see. If it wasn't for the audio or the soundtrack, it wouldn't work. Like it just would sometimes even feel like a comedy. So that really just shows the weight of having good quality sounds in
I
a
once
project.
came up with sometimes in my spare time, I like to design like a game level that's kind of hard to design. So like I take on the challenge just like mentally designing something that I know is going to be difficult. And I think that you can, with just the rumble of a controller and sound, you can lead a player through a room with the lights off, and they bump into things and they move around, and it's actually kind of scary.
They
Because
actually did that in the first Silent Hill.
did they?
The show the since there's no health bars on there, the team was really big on like having a very minimal UI space.
Yeah.
So they were using the DualShock Rumble in the PlayStation 1 controller to
Yeah.
show you your heartbeat.
The first DualShock. What a good time that was. So that it's challenging, but in everything, audio is 50%. Because we got two eyes, two ears, and if we could also get smell. But that's such a weird thing that people still aren't sure about with games. I know this last GDC we saw a lot of talking in VR devices where you shove a thing up against your mouth so that no one else outside of VR can hear you talk, but it's got a microphone and everything in it. It looks ridiculous, but I see it as the future. And also smell-o-vision.
It isn't very impressive,
Yeah, it
but it
is.
does look like a muzzle.
It looks like you're muzzling yourself to go into VR, but you don't see that in VR. So, but the other thing is the smell-o-vision. That's existed since the 70s or maybe even the 50s, maybe even going out back before. But the first, let me just, I have a computer in front of me. The very
I
first
know.
Smellomatic. So
Yeah,
that,
there's some recent innovations on that I've seen where people are using things like essential oils and like different like little tiny server fans,
yeah.
and it's like an attachment you put on like a VR headset that does like blow certain smells out based on what the code is wanting to trigger. And I know there are some like health concerns with that, but I can't wait for them to really be able to nail it down where it is like a consumer ready project.
Well, I'm trying to find the date. Yeah. So 1868. That's how long ago I did a big for our local library. They asked me to do a talk on virtual reality, so I did a huge deep dive into all the things that we consider virtual reality. And one of the very first things was from 1868, and it was the start of a smell-o-vision. It was like the idea that something could be, you could rotate a moving picture on a screen with a handle, and it would spray smells at you at certain intervals. Um, so kind of like VR, the concept has existed for a very long time. And I know we're sidetracking to the Moonland stuff. I'll get right back on board, but this is a space, so it's fun to talk about this stuff. The the thing is, technology is what really drives our future. For virtual reality, it was cell phones. We could not have built the virtual realities, we as in the Palmer guy, could not have built Lucky Palmer, isn't that his name? He could not have built the first VR headset that's the modern day version. Like we had them back in the day, like in the 70s and the 60s. We had headsets that were like, there's even a big CRT television one, some of the earliest displays. But until we got the display technology and processing power in our modern day cell phones, we couldn't have VR. And I think that electricity is the way to do smells. And until we can find a way to tap into our smells with electricity, not by having a smell cartridge that you literally have to keep refilling, like a Febreze thing, that'll be the future. Like when we can tap into the senses either through the mind, something like a Neuralink, or through the actual nose electrodes. So you actually stick something in your nose and it electrocutes you a certain way to make you smell. And the same goes with taste, because we've proven in the lab that you can do that. We can make people taste and smell with different voltages and amperages of electricity. So that's the future of that. Let's go back to Moonland. So yeah, I wrote down here, let's talk voice. I got you to talk about that earlier. That's perfect. We're getting that in. And I said, let's talk about 3D sound. That's all getting into. I know that we released a trailer recently. None of the sounds in the trailer are the actual sounds in the game. It's just a little video clip. They were added after the fact, so Dave got on the bandwagon and turned out a bunch of sounds for us. So you'll see all that coming up next week. So let's talk about art updates. So I don't have any screenshots to share because we're still doing. Our art process goes like this. I talk to the concept artist, or Matt or Brenda bring something up with me. We discuss it, we draw it down, and then we get Alicia or 3D or me or someone else to 3D model it. Alicia's our head of the 3D modeling right now, so she's usually touches everything. She will then model it and then we'll review it. So we had our first review yesterday of the skeleton character, and I love it. It's got a floating head. You can see the bones in the body, and it's just beautiful. So I'm really, it's starting to step away from our humanoid characters, and I really like how this is coming along. So she's making a couple changes to it, and then we'll rig it up and we'll get you some videos, Daniela. And for you guys out there, you'll get to see it. It's a really cool character that Matt came up with. That has a skeleton in its body, but it still uses the universal body type. So you can see the different updates and abilities that we're going to have for that. Speaking of the universal body type and the pain in the ass it is for me because I'm not an animator, but we have over 96 separate animations now rendered out for the universal body type. Next on my list is doing all the gun animations and all the hand animations. So we're going to be cranking those out. Maybe I'll make a video of all of them playing at once, but I think you'll just have to see them in the game. That's going to be we've held off because the voice is really important and we want to get a playable demo with a voice. So once we know the voice is all working and Brandon's locked that down, we'll move on to the. Now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters coming at you pretty quick. So that's really exciting. And that's just, yeah. So a lot of the work we've been doing lately is stuff that is in progress. So it's hard to show off because we don't want people to get the wrong idea. Earlier on, we were showing off some in progress ideas. And people would be like, well, why is it like that? Why is it like that? And it's like, all right, fine. If the comprehension of in progress is mainly just for the people developing, then we're only going to show off you guys the top notch, awesome stuff. So next week we'll have that skeleton character to show, and it's going to be rad.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a crazy dichotomy seeing versus like what's actually gets put out like consumer ready or for people to see
yeah,
versus how many iterations get to there. And it's if you guys are nerds like me, look into like Blocktober. Like usually October is around the time where a lot of developers show the blockouts of levels.
yeah.
And like Uncharted was fully blocked out in a very low poly manner where it was fully playable, but it looks very different from the main game. So it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, the gray block really throws some people off, and that's okay. That's part of the process, right? Especially in the crypto market where gaming and development is so new and so, um, I guess, open to new concepts and ideas. But the people that are there, a lot of people are used to seeing finished work. So we're working with everyone and getting that going. That's really good. One of the reasons that we do gray block, I guess, to give everyone out there a little example, is that if you were to go in and build out a level like for Uncharted, and you built the entire thing. You blocked it in, but you didn't test it, and then you started texturing and placing all the objects, all the pickups. Well, what if the flow sucks? Well, the flow is the ability for the player to not realize they're in a game and not get bored. So when they're running from point A to point B, you got to keep them engaged, just like when you're learning. Right now, we don't have a takeoff animation for our jetpack, so the delay feels stalled and unnatural. But when you get the animation in there, you don't even second guess it because you just see the character bend his knees and jump off. But that 1.2 or 3 milliseconds is literally the difference between something that looks good and something that looks like something wrong. So the blockout stage is always about making sure that you get the flow right first. And we've spent quite a bit of time working on that. And I think like a couple months ago, we really nailed it. We have Brandon got the character rig and got everything in, and I think we've got it going good. So that's really excellent to hear. We've named we have a name for our upcoming event. So we're going to be gearing towards a testnet pre-alpha server load trial. That's right. It's a mouthful, but it's a testnet pre-alpha server load trial, and then we'll be doing that in April. So that's the next time that we're going to be gearing towards, and we're going to be gearing the community towards getting people in the game. But there's certain aspects, just like any alpha or any beta test, especially closed. We'll have a questionnaire for you guys to fill out to tell us your computer specs and where in the world you live and your ping, so we know that you'll have a good enough internet connection, just to make sure that all the variables are there. But that's exciting to me. So that's the testnet pre-alpha server load trial is going to start in April. And I talked about the new characters. I don't know if you guys have seen publicly Ike, but you'll see him too. It's a male version of the UBT. It's really cool. And yeah, I guess next, yeah. Oh, wait, there's a special mini game you guys are gonna be playing, and you might. It's kind of an homage to one of the first main video games created. So you'll see, we got something cool coming down the pipe. Uh, I'll just say it involves laser guns. So we'll leave that one for you guys. Other than that, what else do we have going on this? Well, that sums up last week and this week. But next week, well, we're gonna get the sounds in, so you'll be seeing that. Yeah, I think that we'll be able to do some renders to show off the new character next week. That'll be cool. And as always, stay tuned to Daniela's and the marketing team's contests. You guys can win big in our Discord. Please go join it. Other than that,
Yeah, those contests are super nice.
yeah.
Like you guys are lucky.
And there was a really good Medium article that they just put out the newest one that talks about what we did in January. I really appreciated that one. It really showed off the advancements of the UBT and all that stuff. So go take a look at that. It's on Twitter. Yeah, check it out.
Definitely. Okay, so to sum up, I want to ask you guys two questions about the development.
Most
So
definitely.
my questions would be, what are you the most excited about from the stuff you're working on right now? And what has been the most challenging task so far in 2023?
Oh,
Who wants to go first?
you can go first, Brandon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would definitely say right now the most difficult thing that we've been there's so many options for voice chat and being able to come to like a good agreement on something that's scalable. That was there were so many options. So that because of the such vast options, it was very difficult to come to that conclusion. But I've been having a blast like getting it in this like getting the system in. Um, and being able to actually being able to take a step back from blueprint and being able to uh, write it out is really really nice.
Get your
So
hands back
it's
in some code. Yeah.
yeah, it's it makes me feel like I have like yeah you have more control over the logic that way, and it's just I
You
don't
can
know, I'm
melt
a
the
nerd, I
computer
like
if
that
you
stuff.
want.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, it's exciting. I would say that would for me would be the most exciting and also the most on the other hand also the most difficult
That's
so
a
far.
that's a good one. Um, I'd say for me, it's definitely world building covers both of those as well. I am the most excited every time I get even new rocks in. So when people play and they run around and they use them to dodge the bugs, it's so rewarding to see. But our team is growing, but we the world we're building is so large. I'm really trying my best to make sure that we take it one step at a time. So we're never having to redo tasks or anything. So the world itself, and with the new added stories that we just got, it's going to be populated with so much you guys are going to be able to do. That can get overwhelming if you look at it. But I think that's the same for anything. If you look at any project as a whole, you're probably looking at it wrong unless you are part of the team that's up at the highest level looking at the whole thing. If you're developing, you always need to split it down into its smaller subsections so that you can complete tasks and feel rewarded without seeing the overwhelming arc of the entirety of the project. So for me, it's a constant, I guess, it's a challenge to always make sure that I'm spending enough time with the team and the work that they're producing. As an art director, it's important to make sure things are continuously monitored to be like you want things to look the same. But also, it's the time that I put into my work. I can get lost. John Carmack actually does a really good speech about this, and I can relate heavily, and I bet Brandon can too. He actually, when he needs to get caught up or do a big load of code, or game development and design, he will literally take himself out of his house and rent a hotel for a week or two. Up to 15 days, he'll go away from his house and just code in a hotel room far away, so that he has no distractions. Um,
I've done that so many times with like WeWorks.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's why those are basically invented. And so I'd say personal stuff becomes challenging when you get more embedded in the project and you want to spend more time, especially at night, continuing to work on your stuff. Uh, Good example today. My little cat's sick, so we had to take it to the vet. So that really just like it disrupts your whole flow of things. But it's part of just being a human as well as a developer. So balancing work and life can always become a challenge.
Oh, I'm sorry for your cat. But thank
Yeah.
you. I mean, I think we all really appreciate all the hard work that you guys put into this, and that was great advice. I feel like that, like, if you see everything as a whole, is gonna get overwhelming. But if you divide everything as small tasks, it makes you have a better vision on what you have to do.
It's the only way I can do it, or I'd pull my hair out. I'm also excited for the characters. That Alicia's not here, but I think uh, she's seeing doubles these days because she's pumping out those characters like nobody's business. But I'm excited to
She
see
is.
people in and customizing their characters and getting to that point where maybe even they can put a custom texture on. Like, I can't wait to see more user customization. But we're still steps away from that. But that's the kind of thing that, like, it's easy to get ahead of ourselves by wanting to do more. But we split them into tiny tasks, and we just all we can do is tackle them every week until crunch time, and then we just pull out our hair.
Something you said on a meeting last time that I think is really cool is like sometimes when projects go silent, it's because they're building. Right now, if like right now we're like having these Twitter spaces and giving updates, but we're like you said, we're not giving like the whole process pictures. And I feel like for the following months, there's just gonna be so much stuff to put out,
Yep.
not just with the new characters, but also like with the information. Like we haven't put out that much information about the history. We haven't put out if people want to hear about the tokenomics, about so many other stuff that will be here for I guess Q1.
Yeah, and Twitch and YouTube live streams too. That's coming up. I'm re-ramping that back up. We really wanted to just we have a goal in mind. We did a roadmap for the next 2 months for this demo we're doing, and so the whole team we're just really busy trying to get this demo so polished that when we throw it in front of people, there's no bugs. You just play it and you want to enjoy it, and that's the exciting part. But it does mean that sometimes the content for social media gets a little lacking. But that's I've been holding on to some stuff that I'll be dropping soon. So you guys wait. Daniela will be giving you guys some cool new images of some new characters next week.
And if you guys don't want to wait on the images, just join our Discord. We
Yeah.
give updates and we're talking the whole time. We give blogs where we have a monthly recap. So if you really want to stay tuned with development, go ahead and join our Discord.
Yeah. Just remember the developers are always in there being silent, watching and reading too. We're really interested in how the community sees the future of Moonland as well.
And I guess if there are new characters, we can let people like add to their stories and stuff. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that.
Perfect. Thanks for hosting, Daniela. This is awesome.
All right. So does anyone has any questions? Is there anything else that you guys want to cover, Kieran, Brandon?
For me, I would say that's about it. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a code kind of week, a background tasks kind of week, but we've definitely knocked them out of the park. And Brandon's done an excellent job with his voice. When he sent me the video of it working, I was just, oh, I can't wait to be yelling at people in the game.
We'll be having the Wednesday meetings inside the game.
Yeah, it means we'll have to build it for Mac.
Or I'll have to get something that's not a Mac.
Yeah, we'll have to get everyone PCs. Perfect. Everyone get PCs. Excellent. Just for Moonland. Oh.
I mean, it would make sense.
I think the future will just be virtual reality. So we'll all just be in VR, and we'll all meet in VR. It'll be fun. But the
All
meetings have to
right,
be restricted
guys.
to half an hour, or else everyone gets sick.
All right, guys. That was really fun hearing from all the updates. Everyone, once again, if you want to have a constant recap, join our Discord. And I guess I'll see you on the next development update Twitter space.
Perfect. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Thank you all for joining. Bye.